Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, middlers. Welcome to episode 197. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle. And I can't believe we only have 3 more episodes left of this year. We will be finishing at episode 199, which works out so perfectly to come back in 2024 on the episode 200. Happy how that worked out, but how are you? We all just survived the craziness that was Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I hope you got your deals. I hope your inboxes were full of sales. Now that's all going to calm down. I know I got some good deals. I love a sale. So I have a funny story to tell you today, a funny mediumship story. So that's what we have going on. And I'm not going to do a card pull today. I'm not feeling it. And I went on Instagram Live as I was setting up for the podcast. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll pull a card for the people on live because I don't feel like pulling a card for the podcast. And I explained how I'm not in the mood. And it just doesn't work when you're not in the mood. You have to be in the mood. And that goes for all spirituality stuff. You can't force it. If you force it, it just doesn't work. So I tried to pull a mediumship card and it was just not the vibe. And then I tried again and it was still not the vibe. And I was like, yeah, see, no, this is because of what I said earlier. It's just I'm not feeling it. And I don't want to force a card pull that doesn't resonate. That's why when you do cards and you're in the mood, they just pull so good. You're like, oh, the card's just new. So no card this week, but I do have a lot of announcements. Lots of things to update you guys on. I'm very excited. The Reiki courses for the new year are out. So if you have been waiting for Reiki, if you want to start the new year off with Reiki, now is the time. I just launched the January courses. So there is Reiki Level 1, which is January 27th and 28th. And Reiki Level 2, which is January 13th and 14th. So those are now out. You can register for that. The other exciting thing is my goals workshop. That is going to be happening on December 30th from 1 p.m. to 3:30. It's 2.5 hours and it's only $44 Canadian. We are reviewing 2023 and setting goals for 2024. This is my favorite thing in December. So I'm happy that the Saturday worked out right before New Year's Eve. And even if you're listening in Australia, it'll still be the 31st for you, which is a great time to do it. So I will leave that linked down below as well. But my biggest announcement is that my mentorship program, Mentees in the Middle, is officially open. So this mentorship program is 3 months and we work one-on-one together. So if you are looking for a mentor in the Reiki, mediumship, or business space, I'll leave the link down below to apply. It is application based just to make sure that I can help you, make sure I'm the right fit for you. If I believe I can help you, then it's yeah, sign up. But if I'm ooh, I might not be the person for you, then I say that. So I will leave the link to apply down below. You can see if it's right for you. All the information is there. But that is what we have going on. We are planning hot and heavy into January. I know it feels so far away, but December is almost here, folks. It's about to get busy. So we're going to jump right into this mediumship story that I have for you. This one is a funny one. Spirit made an inappropriate joke, and it really made me laugh, and it was in his personality, and it just was a cute little funny one. And I know I keep telling mediumship stories on the podcast, and I keep saying that Spirit isn't allowed to sneak in to my sessions. So I guess this should be a little bit more specific. They are not allowed to sneak into my sessions. But if you are a regular client, as in I've seen you before multiple times, or if I've talked to your loved one before, it is much more likely that I will allow them to sneak in. So this is a very, very regular client. I see her and her mother And I've talked to her father before, so for both her and her mother, so I'm just very familiar with the whole family. And when I first saw the name, I actually thought it was her mom coming in for a session, and I was like, oh, so fun, like they're just nice people. And when she came, I was like, oh, like, did your mom book this for you? And she was like, no, like, I put my name. And I was like, oh, I didn't even look at the first name. I just looked at the last name. So anyway, so she came in, and I know that she had just had a baby. So we were talking about the baby, and obviously her dad came in because the baby was just born, I think in August. It's November now, so I think the baby's just a few months old. So anyway, so her dad came in hot and heavy. Obviously, she just had a baby. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. And then he started saying all of these things. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything because she's going to start to cry. And, she's a new mom. She came here for some Reiki. She needs some relaxation. So I was like, I'll save everything he says till the end. So then we got into this, an hour of Reiki where I was trying to be silent. And her dad was trying to tell me stuff. So her dad was trying to tell me about how his name was like hanging in the nursery. So he was kind of trying to give me the gist that like something with his name on it is hanging in the nursery. And I was like, okay, well, tell me what your name is because, I need some more information here. So him and I are having this conversation while I'm doing Reiki. Just to be clear, her dad is passed, so I'm talking to spirit. I know we're on the Medium in the Middle podcast, but just in case that wasn't obvious. So anyway, so he just kept showing me like a big letter on the wall. And you know how sometimes he will put like those big wooden letters on the wall? So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it was just the letter D. And he just kept saying there's a big D on the wall. And I was like, well, I can't say that. I was like, because that sounds like a dirty joke. So when I say it, I have to tell her something along the lines of, there is a big letter D on the wall of the nursery. He is trying to tell me that his name, in some sort, is on the wall of the nursery. He is showing me the nursery and showing me this big letter D. And I just kept saying, what's your name? And he kept showing me this big D. And I was like, I can't say a dick joke to my client, what's your name? And he would just show me this big letter D. And I just kept thinking in my head, there's a big D on the wall. There's a big D on the wall. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was trying not to laugh because it was kind of funny. So, this goes on for an hour. And I'm like, fine, I'll tell her that something with your name on it is hanging in the nursery on the wall. But, if you would tell me your name, this would like be a much better message. And he kept telling me this dick joke, and I kept saying, I'm not saying a dick joke. So it goes to the end of the session, and, I'm giving her all the feedback about her energy, and I was like, oh, obviously your dad's here. And I explained, I was like, he's showing me the nursery, and he's showing me that there's something on the wall with his name on it. I was like, I don't know what it is, but there's like something hanging in the nursery that has his name on it. And he like wants you to know that he knows it's there. She's thinking and she's thinking and she's like, oh yeah, there is a teddy with his name on it. And it's in the room on the shelf. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, that makes sense. I was like, cause he just kept showing me his name. And I was like, what is his name, by the way? And she said, well, his name is Richard, but he went by Dick. And he always said, I'm a dick. And she kind of laughed when she said it. And I was like, there's my green light to tell her the dick joke. And I was like, so your dad's funny? She's like, yeah. And I was like, he was saying a dick joke. And she was like, he would. And I was like, he just kept saying that there was a big D on the wall. And I kept thinking, I can't say a dick joke. What's your name? And he kept saying there's a big D on the wall. And I kept thinking, I can't say a dick joke. And all along, he was trying to tell me his name was Dick. And I was sitting here saying, no, 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 no. So she starts laughing and crying. And I start laughing. And I was like, Spirit's never done that before. She's like, oh, he loved his dick jokes. She's like, that's him. Like, he would do that. And it was just like a perfect funny moment. He got the message across. He like acknowledged the baby. It was a beautiful message for her. And also like his personality just got to shine. And then it was also a huge reminder for me to just say what you get. Just say what you get in mediumship. I'm sitting here trying to be like, don't be inappropriate. Just tell me. And if I would have just said that, I would have said his name. So very, very interesting. It was funny. I went and laughed about that one after work. I was like, guess what happened today? Spirit said a dick joke and it was hilarious. And it was also his name. How perfect. So good job, Richard. You came through. You got a beautiful message to your daughter and acknowledging your new granddaughter. So very exciting. So I had to come on and share that with the podcast. A little funny one, a little message slipping through, but such a big impact. So I hope you guys like that. It made me laugh. I hope it puts a smile on your face. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast. I release new episodes every Wednesday. I would love and appreciate a rating and a review. If you have a moment to just leave the podcast 5 stars or share this podcast with someone who needs a little joke, who would appreciate a little dick joke, because we all need a smile on our face when Spirit's trying to sneak in and tell me their name. I will leave all the links that you need down below in the show notes for the Reiki trainings and the 2024 mentorship, and to register for the workshop if you like. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.